Perfect.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Sean.
Brett, Sean.
Have a great time.
Thanks. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Jillian.
How's everyone going this
Hi.
any issues with your I don't know, if you're like me, I'm going to show you as soon as I get this thread pulled through. I had the one that I was teaching you, and then I have this one that I'm working on because I hated the lettering. So I haven't finished the homework that I assigned because I just started it again yesterday. Is everyone caught up?
But carry on. I'm
No. Okay. Okay. I think tonight we'll just carry on doing the feathers. But I want to get the canoe started, and I want to get the banding around here, the outside done. And then during the week, I'm going to task you guys with filling in the black so that next week we can work on the lanyard. Does anyone feel optimistic and want to show off their work?
Nope.
Or have any questions about what you're working on? Or
Nope.
everyone's so shy.
Do we have to put little beads inside the feathers? Are we supposed to, were we supposed to fill in the feathers?
Yeah, where it's black, you should use black feathers.
Black bead.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I did the outlines. I didn't do the inside.
I don't know how well you can see, but there's like little, like one bead at a time. There's not a lot of black in there. But yeah,
Right,
whatever you can.
I can work on that after. I want you to show me how to do everything else.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll do that. And I haven't finished my feathers because I just started again and I have to do this lettering. So I'll catch up on that outside of it. But I really hated how messy the lettering was at the beginning. Like the first technique I was showing, and then I wanted to redo my bird and all of it. So I'm just gonna scrap this one, take it all apart, and work on the black and white. So if you guys want to go ahead, I don't know where you're at, how your thread is. Mine's a bit short, but what I want to do is do the banding, the outside banding tonight. I don't feel like I need to describe that because we've already done it around here. It's the same technique, just going around the circle slowly. So
you don't do the banding at the end?
No, I do it. I'll do it before I start the beading.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Sometimes.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes I'll do it at the end because I'll be like, oh no, I want it a little bit bigger, and I'll put the banding on to expand it. But I think for this one, we'll do it first.
I don't know if you can see my lettering too. It's just messy.
Yeah, no, it's not really though, Kim. Like, I think we're our own worst critic.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's that, like, I think it looks good for the, like, for how close the lettering is and how tight the curves are. I think it looks good.
So I'm wondering if we could change the design a little bit and spread out that Mississauga. Try, taking that Mississauga out and spreading out a Mississauga word. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I tried quilling it too, and it doesn't quill very well. So
no, it's a very tight, like I said last week, if you're gonna be it nice, I think we'd have to really expand it. It's a hard design, like, and that little bird is really hard to do too. I don't even know if I like my redone one very much.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, it's a lot better than my little blue thing, my blob. But yeah, so if you guys just want to work away on what you're doing, I'm going to finish this. I'm working on this feather, and I'm going to finish that, and then I'm going to tie off my thread, start a new one, and get started on the canoe. So I'll just quickly finish that up.
Yeah.
And if you guys are working on something and you want to get it done.
Yes, Casey. Sean wants to buy yours.
I don't know if it'll be good enough for purchasing, but we'll see how it goes.
Sean should follow the videos once they're posted and do his
Poor
own.
Sean. He sits on, and you know what it's like to sit on council,
Yeah.
how busy you are, and
Oh,
with
totally.
COVID going on, and
My biggest worry was I would get so obsessed with doing it that I would miss something, or
yeah.
or be up till 3 a.m. Beating.
Oh, I don't know about that. I know people that do that, but I'm like, I can't see that late. How can you beat at night?
Sean leads a pretty busy life with twins and council and this
Yeah.
job and all the other jobs he does. He's got a pretty poor, busy life. I don't know when he gets time to sleep.
I don't know either, Kim.
How old are the twins, Sean?
They're over 18 months, 19 months
Oh.
tomorrow.
So busy.
Yes.
They're very,
Busy.
very busy.
Yeah.
I've actually got myself muted here now because they're downstairs running around after supper, screaming and playing around.
They learned just at Christmas time how to climb on furniture. So,
Oh.
yeah. And
We
then
made them
Sean thought one of them had like, I don't know, like mumps or something. So he took her to the doctor and it was bite marks from her sister.
Oh no.
Mhm. He was like, I felt so stupid. They're like, no, that's bite marks. So one sister's been biting the other. I was laughing.
Funny.
Luckily, it was only the one time. They've kind of
Yeah.
grown out of that. It was pretty
For
cute.
now.
I was down with them this morning, and they were just walking around and playing with their stuffies, and Francis just turned to Ruby and gave her a great big hug and a kiss. I almost cried.
Oh,
So cute.
Nice.
little sweethearts. And then they do something rotten and you're like, oh.
Oh, never.
Never. They must take after their mom then. Where's your niece, Casey? I want to see your face tonight.
She's at home, surprisingly. She usually likes to be here with me, but she decided to go home for a little while. She'll probably be back tonight.
Yeah. I was telling Casey last weekend, she was in the camera sticking her tongue out and doing peace signs and said, oh my God, it was so funny. Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you. Oh. There's
You got
usually
the
3.
COVID.
Yeah. No, my allergies with this weather change, my allergies have been acting up again.
Mine are awful, Jill.
I was so
Awful.
bad last night with the dog.
So-
He likes to sit on my lap and then all his fur gets right in my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, about a week and a half ago, or maybe not even that, I had put on Facebook that I had a headache and I wasn't feeling well and and my nose was running in my eyes. And Jenny sends me a message and she said, you've got COVID. You better get to the hospital.
Oh my goodness.
I said, Jen, paranoia. I don't have COVID.
Yeah.
I have bad allergies with all the sawdust and all the drywall.
Yeah. On Monday, I called in sick to work. I had a migraine from the weather
Yeah.
and I'm like, it's 100% the weather. Like I know, I'm not like
It's
I don't
almost
have
like you have to explain when you sniffle, when you
Right?
cough.
Yeah.
I feel like
Um,
I'm a bad person if I cough and somebody's around or I do a sniffle. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to think I got the Rona and they're going to like toss me out.
right. And my eyes are always watery, and I'm
Yes.
just like, yeah, and I'm like, I'm not sick, I swear.
So they had to take Aunt Linda to the hospital on Tuesday. She fell out of bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. And instead of calling out for Duffy or Lori, she laid on the floor all night.
My goodness.
So Duffy got up and she was like, Mom, where are you? And she was on the other side of the bed. So she couldn't get her up. So she said, I'm not feeling good. I'm hurting, blah, 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 blah. So Duffy called the ambulance and the ambulance came and said, you've got COVID.
What?
And I said, first of all, they shouldn't be doing that. That's not their call. They're not doctors.
Yeah.
Second of all, they shouldn't be scaring a poor 80-year-old woman. She had blood poisoning from a cut on her finger.
So on what basis did they say she had COVID?
Because she fell out of bed and she was sore and achy.
Oh, well, I'd be sore and achy if I fell out of bed too.
Yeah, laying on the hard floor. And I said, and poor Aunt Linda was like in tears and she's like, you can't come near me. I've got COVID. Ah. And I said, wait till we get you to the hospital. Let's see what the doctors say. So they did the test and they said, you don't have COVID. You have a blood infection.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I was like, that is not their call. They have no right to tell you what you do and what you don't have. That is not their call.
Yeah.
I was so mad. I was just vicious.
So I'm starting the outside of the canoe, and I'm going to go all the way around the outside of the canoe. But I'm going to do 2 needle beading, but you guys keep up with the I'm going to do it just to show you how to do it. And if you don't like it, just keep doing the 4 on and tack through 2. So I just want to show you guys a different technique, just so you have it for those that weren't at the earring one. I keep mentioning it, so I thought this would be a good time to show it. But if you don't want to do it, that's totally understandable. And it can be a bit tricky. So what I have is a whole run of beads on one thread, and I have a second needle that I'm going to use to tack down over the bead. So from here to here, between every other bead. I can just find the spot. So rather than going through the beads again, I'm just going between the beads and tacking it down, tacking down the thread. So it's a bit faster and it's a bit flatter than the method I showed you at first. So I think you guys only have the 1 needle. So you'll have to do it the way I showed you at first, but I did want to provide this as an option for those like Casey or Kim or Vanessa who might have their own beading supplies. So I'm hoping you can see. And with this, you can maneuver the line a little bit better, I think, than when you're just doing 1 needle. And do the curves a little bit more. I hope you guys can see that. So you just hold the beads in place with your one hand and tack down with the other. It is a little bit tricky to get started, but I found that once I got the hang of it, it's so super simple.
That's how I used to be, was like that.
Yeah.
And then I started just 1 needle beading and I kind of liked it better. I don't know. I don't know. But you say it lays better and it's faster.
I prefer it. But then like my mom will do the 2 needle technique but with one needle. So
Yeah.
she'll lay the row and then go back and tack them down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was doing that on the feathers today, but I was having a hard time to figure out like how tight I should pull the thread to have enough that it's gonna give where I want it to. So I just prefer this. And so when whatever needle I'm not using, I tuck into my shirt. And so just be careful not to stab yourself. But there, I just did that row pretty quick. Does anyone have any questions about that? Look like you're thinking hard, Vanessa.
No, I'm just watching.
Oh, okay. So this is a technique somebody had told me about years and years and years ago, but I'm a visual learner, so I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then I was doing, sometimes I'll get bored and I'll go on YouTube and just watch random videos. So I was looking up beading techniques, and this is one that I watched. I learned how to do from YouTube all those years later, and I was kicking myself that I didn't pay better attention when that young man was telling me about the 2-needle beading technique all those years ago. It could have saved me a lot of trouble. So there, I'm just following the line of the canoe. And sometimes, like, depending on how you want to maneuver the beads to fall into place, you can go between every single one. And then it gives it like it secures it where you want it to flow. I have a little knot happening. My threads have been twisting all day, and I dropped my beads all over the floor this afternoon.
So the other day I was talking to some ladies, and how do you say this? Nymo thread
I'm not sure.
from John Bead. You know, just your normal Nymo thread that you get from John Bead or wherever.
Okay.
And one lady was saying she never uses it. She uses, oh, now I can't think of it. Fireline or something like that.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. She said it's
Yeah.
better. It doesn't twist. It doesn't knot.
Yeah.
Have you ever used that thread?
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I buy it from Michael's, and she's right. Like, it doesn't twist. You don't have to wax it. It's all good. But I find it really expensive.
Yeah, that's what she said. So I went on and I looked
Yeah.
for it to carry it in this, and it's so expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I have my big old roll of thread from all those years ago. So I'm gonna use that up before I buy any more thread. But I do like that line, how easy it is to
I
use.
think it's called Fireline or something.
Yeah, something.
You could even get it in fishing line.
Yes. I know a woman who would, like, in a pinch, she would use dental floss,
Yeah.
like pre-waxed dental floss. Yeah. So there I'm at the end of my beads. So I have to put this thread away, and I'll pick up some more beads for my thread. And when you're just doing a straight run, it doesn't matter how many beads you put on, whatever you can hold. I usually pick up like 2 beads lengths. When I first started doing it, I just do one bead or 1 needle length at a time, but now I pick up
Now
a
you're
couple.
professional.
No, I wouldn't say professional. Well, I do get paid for it, but Yeah. I'm still learning. I'm still a baby. I feel like I don't know everything there is yet.
Do we ever? No.
No. And there's some styles that I've tried and I just can't take to it. And I'm like, no, I'll never do that.
Yeah.
Like peyote.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like brick stitch or like those woven ones. They're not for me.
No. Nope. I'm lucky if I can get one done. So.
Showing Brayden a picture of this woman I follow on Instagram who does beadwork. She's been beading portraits, and she did The Weekend, and then she did Johnny Cash, and now she's working on a Prince one.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, like his detail, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
I know, like look at the hair.
That's crazy.
I know, isn't it lovely? She's lovely. She does amazing work. I'm so in awe.
She must have a lot of time on her hands.
It's her full-time job. Yeah.
I can barely keep up with 2 jobs.
I know. Can barely keep up with my one.
So when is this class done?
This is the 3rd week and we have 2 more.
And then we can talk to Lonnie, eh?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, next week we're starting late because we're going to council.
Right.
Yes. So as a reminder, everyone, next week we're starting at 7 instead of 6.
Are we going to council, you and I?
Yep.
Or we got on?
Yep.
Oh, there you go, Case.
Yep. I sent her the presentation today.
Perfect. Lonnie didn't send me
Yep.
anything.
Oh, I have to go on for something else for ECDEV.
Okay.
So I was asking her
If we could
about our
see it.
presentation too,
Yeah.
and she said she'll just piggyback them.
Oh, okay.
So, and I forget if you and I go on first or I go on first and then you join in. I don't remember, but
You'll let me know.
yeah. I'll double check my emails next week.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't get anything, I don't think.
Okay.
No.
I
didn't
think
get-
I'm on at 5:35 to talk about the stuff I need to talk to them about, and that you and I are on at 6,
Okay.
and then we should be done in time, like by set for me to start at 7.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't get anything.
Okay.
We might have to fire her now.
Well, I think she just assumed
Yeah,
and
you would let
maybe
me know.
that I would, yeah. And I forgot about it till right now. Oh, and sometimes I lose track of where I'm at when I'm doing the 2 needle, especially when I'm doing white because of the thread. So I just pull it out a little bit to remind myself where I am. And I like this technique because I'm never committed to the number of beads. Like if there's too many, I can just slip them off. And if I need a couple more, I can just add what I need.
It does go faster, eh?
Yeah. Now, when we get in between the lettering here, we're going to need to do like 1 or 2 beads at a time. And I think we'll have to go be really picky about what beads we put in there.
Yeah.
Whether we get really like the chubbier beads or the thinner beads.
I understand why beadwork costs so much money, because the time that goes into it.
Yeah. Did Ashley ever get that medallion?
The wolf one?
No. I don't want to give it away if she didn't get it. Somebody was giving her one as a gift.
No, not that I know.
Do you know?
Of. I
Okay.
don't know.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. She hasn't said anything.
Okay.
She's barely started this one. But she's been
Is it-
working just about every day.
Yeah. I see her lots at work.
Yeah, I said, I'm not doing it for you.
So I have my little G. My G is in the way down here. So I'm just going to end this line and pick up on the other side of the G there. It's just, I don't want to force it and have the canoe go a little bit wonky. I want to keep the lines straight. And then just come up on the other side of it and keep going. How's everyone doing?
Still working on my feathers.
Okay. How are you, Debbie? Good.
Yeah, I was working on my feathers, but I'm going to start the canoe so I can kind of keep up with you a little bit.
Yeah. And how about you, Vanessa?
No, I'm not, I'm not, not doing it.
All
I
right.
hate,
Well,
I hate my letters.
I totally understand that. Like, I restarted mine. I get it. They're hard to do. And I am imagining if I'm struggling and I've been beating for as long as I have, it's got to be a struggle for you guys. So don't beat yourselves up too bad about your lettering. It's a hard little project.
I'm hoping mine's all gonna go into place once I do the canoe.
Yeah. Get the white around it, holding it up. How are you doing, Teresa?
Is she there?
I'm not sure. And who's S. McD? How are you doing?
Hi, sorry, on a call right now. I'll be there in a second.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Well, I'm glad that you guys could join us on a Friday night. But it's not like there's a lot going on anywhere in the world. I watch like videos of people or see photos of people around the world and I'm like, how do you have so much freedom to go anywhere right now?
Yeah.
I don't think it's freedom. I think it's stupidity.
Well, there's that too, right?
You know, if people just stayed home, you know, we'd get over this sooner than later, right?
Yeah. Yep. Having that conversation with my stepdaughter this morning. She's in Kitchener and she wants to come visit. And we're like, you know, you're in a red zone. We just can't right now.
Yeah.
Stay home. She's like, everyone just needs to stay home.
Exactly.
I like that Hiawatha checks their license, the license plate.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And not just a license plate, like they have to show proof of residency.
Wow, good for you.
Show your ID.
We don't do nothing here. There's no checking. There's no monitoring. All we have is a sign.
A sign like stay home or
No,
Stay
just
out?
thank you. Respect our community, stay home,
oh,
but welcome.
spend your money, but only if you're not sick.
Only if you're, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was getting to be a safety concern because they were coming in, right? They come
They're
into
coming, yes, and we've got it. We've got a
Yeah.
case somewhere.
yeah. Holy Buckhorn has a little outbreak, eh? I heard on the
Yes.
news.
Well, that's where it came from, was Buckhorn.
Yeah. That's a little bit scary.
It is.
It's a daycare out there, eh?
Yeah.
I was doing a beaded pop socket this past week, and just to, you know how we're always like I'm always getting my thread stuck on the corners,
Yeah.
Yes.
and one of the ladies there suggested that you just trim off the corners a little bit so that you're in a circle,
Yes.
and your thread doesn't get stuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. You can do that. I'm just so used to doing it on a square and unsticking my thread. I don't even think about it. But yeah, absolutely. If that works better for you, go ahead.
well, between having that and, you know, knots in my thread and
Yeah.
like I was struggling, so I thought that made it a lot easier for me.
Yeah. And I don't know how, but yesterday I had a knot in my, like one of those tiny little knots in my thread, like here. So every time I had to pull it through, I had to really yank on it to get it through the pellin. And it was one of those ones that was too tight to get undone, like I would have unraveled on my thread. Oh, I was frustrated with it. And then I was getting like in the back, I was getting loops that
Yeah.
yeah. I've not been having a good week beading.
And that's when mine goes in the garbage.
I don't usually garbage mine then. That's when I take a break.
I'm
Like,
like, yep.
okay. Yeah. I'd hate to see all that work wasted because it's on the back, right? Like you're not going to see it when it's done. But that's when I'm like, I need a break. I can't work on this right now.
Yeah, because you don't want to put that bad energy in there.
Right. And then I'm a little bit, I have too many beads on. So what I like about this is that I can just take those little 2 off. Then I go back to the first thread, the one that the beads are connected on, and I use that to come down, and I'll just finish off at the edge of the canoe. Nice clean line. I gotta get my threads untangled. And there we have the whole bottom of the canoe.
Cool.
Yeah. And it went really quick because of the 2 needle. Like I think if I was doing it 1 needle, it would have been much slower. But that just to show you guys or ladies how quickly 2 needle can go. And I think they're probably a bit straighter than had I been doing 1 needle. But you can certainly do 1 needle. You can do it straight and you can get it done for sure. So I'm just going to continue on and do the upper part of the canoe. And then I think I'm going to start coming here and using the beads to make a cool line. I'm going to see how that goes to give it like some movement or some, I don't know how to describe it, but we'll just get the top done for now.
So Jill, the first line, when you're doing your 2
Yeah.
needles, first line is just like a beat, holds the beads.
Yeah.
And then second line is tacking it down.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yep. Exactly. So the thread that tacks down, you use up a lot faster than the thread that's just holding the beads. So sometimes, like if I'm paying attention, I would have switched my threads just to keep them even, like to finish them evenly. But you don't have to. That's just something I do because I'm a bit anal like that. But you don't have to for sure.
I have to grab a snack.
I'm trying not to snack, so I made this rule that I can only have snacks on days that don't have S in it, which is only Monday and Friday.
Yeah.
So I really live for Monday and Friday nights. So yeah, I'm dreaming of my snack when I'm done tonight. But I'm trying, Vicky likes to have her snacks every single night and she likes to have chips and it's just not good for you, right? To do it. So I'm trying to lead by example and
Having a pear. I'm not having a
yeah.
chip.
Nice. I can't beat and snack, so it actually is like a little lifesaver for me, but then it means that I'm snacking much later than I should be. And I haven't had pop in probably 5 years. I don't even know how long. And oh my God, this week, all I want is to have a big drink of Coke. The craving is crazy this week.
Wow.
Yeah. Normally it doesn't, I'm fine with it, but oh my gosh, this week I'm just like, I want my Coke. Yeah, it'll pass.
My grandkids, they don't even have any kind of pop.
Yeah.
They'll have a drink here, but it's a waste. Like I just have to, I find cans all over the place that are like a couple of sips out of them and then I have to,
Right.
oh.
Well, that's good. It's a bad habit, eh? So when you're doing the feathers, try not to get them too down into the canoe. I think a couple of them do meet up, but try so that you don't have to interrupt your line across. And if you do, it doesn't matter. They're all white. It'll blend.
I'm thinking maybe the one line, the two needle style would have been easier with our letters.
I don't know. I did when I redid my lettering, I did one bead at a time.
Okay.
On its side.
Because I ran out of pattern. See, you can't see my
Okay.
how many times I've taken it apart.
Right. What I did was actually like reprint it. So I have this is my original, and then I reprinted it because I knew if I took it apart, I would lose it.
Yeah.
So if anyone is ambitious and wants to, or really hates how it works out and wants to redo it, I can send you the size for reprinting.
That would be good if you could send me that.
Okay.
Because I'm all done with my other beading, and I'm all done with my other project. So I just have this to do.
Oh, okay. So you probably don't want to work on it more if you're just going to take it apart, eh, Vanessa?
Yeah. That's
Do you want me, like, you know how to do this, so do you want me to get started on the lanyard? Like, or like, I don't know. I could get you started on that, so that you could work on something until I can send you the new one to print out.
Okay. Well, not right now, right? Wait till you're done with your canoe.
Okay. All right. I just don't want you to sit idle.
I had my snap.
Okay. Enjoy your pear. Did you hear her?
Yeah.
The dog's biting at Vic. He must have got her belly. He's nipping so bad. I don't know how to get him to stop. I'm hoping it partly is like his teething.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it will just end naturally, but in the meantime, it's like, oh my God, boy, stop biting.
Has he gone to his obedience class?
We start Tuesday.
Okay. They teach you.
Yeah. He's smart. He knows, like, we've taught him different commands, like sit and come and lay down. And he just hasn't mastered, like, he listens when he wants.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know how to teach stay or like make sure that he actually listens when it's important. So I'm looking forward to it.
So the obedience classes that we went to with Otis, if them and another dog started barking at each other or nipping at each other, or they would have you take your dog and you went into this like little room by yourself and you put your dog in there until he behaved, like he stopped barking.
Yeah.
Well, Otis was really smart because he would get two dogs going and they would have to go to that room and he'd be sitting in the big room with all the other dogs like he was the good boy. And I was like, what is wrong with you people? He's the instigator.
Yeah.
He gets them going and then they get in trouble and they have to go. Honest to God, people, stop punishing the other ones. It's him.
So, but then how does that work? Like they calm down, but then they go back out and don't they just start barking at each other
Eventually
again?
they learn that if they go out and they keep it up, they have to go back to this like little room by themselves. and they stopped doing it, but he would get them going.
Oh my goodness.
And then the trainer would go, stop, and you have your own word or whatever.
Yeah.
And ours was Colleen.
Right.
So he would stop, but the other dogs would keep going. And he would just sit there like he was his tail wagging. He was the good one. And the poor trainer was like, you're so mean with your dog.
Yeah.
Like, he's the instigator. What aren't you getting? Send him to the room. He wouldn't go up and down the stairs, and she would get mad because I would like, I'm not picking you up and taking you down. You will come down on your own. And she's like, just pick him up and bring him down. He's just a puppy. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Yeah. No wonder he's so spoiled.
Right. Belvedere needs help getting into the car. He needs like his back end lifted.
Now too.
But he like the other day he did it on his own. Like he's getting stronger and bigger.
Yeah.
So, but Christina's like, he's gonna have you trained that you're gonna have to do that every time. And I'm like, no, he's not strong enough right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
He will.
See, Otis is his age now. Eh? It's
Yeah.
starting, it's hurting now to get in and out of the car.
Yeah.
And you know his car rides are his most important, but
Yes.
he can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 10, so
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize he was that old.
yeah.
We're doing play dates with Sushi.
Yes.
What a good dog she is.
Isn't
Like,
she amazing?
yeah, it's been a huge help for us. We've only had 2, and I've already noticed a huge difference in Belvedere.
Yeah. Bear was really good for Otis. Kirk used to bring
Yeah.
Bear down all the time, and Bear would teach him what it was like to be a dog,
Yep.
and that biting wasn't accepted. And
Yep. And then we went to PetSmart the other day, and there was this little 8-week puppy, and I was really nervous with Belvedere because he can be aggressive when he's on his leash.
yeah,
And he was so gentle and just like sweet as could be. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's good.
Amanda texted me. She took Willow to the vets, and she has a whole bunch of like scabs and bites on her. And she said, is Otis like bit up or anything? Because him and Willow do not get along.
Right.
He loves Marley. He cannot stand Willow. So I checked him over and I said no. And she said, and I know it's not Marley. She thinks the coyotes are coming in.
Oh,
So I said, no, he doesn't have any bite marks or anything. And I know they fight. And normally if she's out, he'll come home. He won't stay over there with Marley.
right.
If Marley's out by herself, he'll play and play and play, him and Marley. And normally he's the one that comes home with bite marks from them because he lets Marley pull on his lips and his ears and bites his paw because she's a sheepdog. So she tries hurting him.
Right.
So she bites at his paws, and normally he comes home and he's got marks on his paws. And I said, no, I guess she took Willow to the vet, and the vet said, what are these marks and stabs and stuff? And he's like, oh my God, these are bite marks.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So she thought maybe him and Willow got into it. And I said, no, he has no marks on him. He's good.
Yeah, Bing's seen a couple coyote, one for sure, out walking Belvedere in the woods in the daytime.
Yes, you guys got to be careful, especially at night there when you're walking.
Yeah, I walk down at night. I walk him along Potash. I refuse to walk Kent's Bay at night.
Yeah, because we were walking up to Aunt Linda's a couple weeks ago, and there was one in behind Sheldon's place, and it was daylight.
Yeah, and then I won't let him, like, he doesn't walk the woods by himself. He doesn't get to wander by himself in the day. Yeah.
Especially now, coyotes are going into heat, so they're trying to lure, eh?
Yeah.
And we see them all the time on our cameras. It's just ridiculous. And they don't care. They're not scared. They're not scared of humans.
No. And Belle's not that big yet.
No. And Otis is so dumb that he'd want to play with them. He'd
Right.
lay down on the ground because that's what he does, is he lays down on the ground and lets the dog jump all over him and
Yeah.
Sorry about that. It's Sherry taking over for Tamara. I was on a call.
Oh, no worries. I just wanted to check in with everybody, see how you were doing.
I'm trying.
Oh, that's all you can do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How far along are you?
I'm halfway through the Mississauga lettering.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm a little behind.
That's okay. It's a struggle. I get that. It's a struggle doing the
Yeah.
lettering.
I'll
Yeah.
catch up though.
Okay.
I picked mine up twice this week and I put it back down because I just didn't want any bad energy in it. So it's just
Yeah.
frustrated with the lettering.
So there, I'm done the top part of the canoe.
Nice. So
That's
now you're
that-
gonna fill it all in?
yeah, I'm gonna just take my time around the lettering and around the bird. So my threads are over on this side, so I'm just going to start working my way down through here and work my way across. I think. Yeah. So a lot of it I'll just have to do 1 or 2 beads at a time. So I'm going to switch back to 1 needle beading because 2 needle can just be a little bit,
Yeah.
I don't think it's appropriate for in between all when I have to do 1 bead or 2 beads. So I'm just going to tie one of my threads off, get it out of the way, and then work on doing the fill. But yeah, so that's just the difference in how fast it can go if you do have a second needle and you're feeling brave and want to give it a shot. It might be handy too for when we do the black, when we do the fill-in, like the outside couple circles.
Yeah.
The
And
big-
we have our videos up on YouTube and Sean can post the
the earring.
yeah, for the earrings and stuff that Jill taught, so that if you wanted to watch that 2 needle beading, you can go ahead and watch it. It's I'll get Sean to post the site for it. It's on YouTube. And yeah, you can sit back and watch it or work away with her.
Yeah. So because I'm going back to a technique I've already described, I'm not going to talk my way through it because sometimes I get sick of hearing my own voice. But I'll show you. Continue to hold it in the camera. You guys continue to work away, and if you have any questions, let me know, and we can just talk about whatever, like we have been kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was so self-conscious last week. I glanced up and noticed that like it really focused on my hands. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't have dirty fingers. So this morning I'm like cleaning out my nails and I'm like, oh, I gotta cut them and I gotta do this. And then I forgot. So they're all uneven, but that's my little bit of self-consciousness.
A hand model.
Yeah. So I'm just playing with like one bead's too small, but 2 beads was a little tight. So I think what I'm gonna try to do is find 2 thin beads or 1 really chubby bead to fill in that space. I'm just taking
Kim
those
and
off.
Casey, I'm just gonna step away from the computer for maybe 20 minutes or so. I'm gonna give Aggie a hand with the girls to go down for bedtime.
All right.
Okay.
I'm actually going to tack, rather than coming up through the beads, I'm just going to tack them down as if I was doing 2 needles. So I'm tacking down between, I did 2 beads, and I'm just tacking down between the threads, not back through the beads,
Yeah.
just for some spots. I think it really depends, like which technique I use just depends on the space that I'm trying to fill in. Vanessa, you have my email, right?
I think it's in the email.
Yeah,
That's in.
if you email me, I'll send you the logo to reprint. Or if anyone else wants it to, send me an email and I'll send them to you for reprinting. if you
I had
want.
already copied it. I took mine apart about 3 times.
Oh,
So I got smart and copied it. So I've got lots in my room.
that is smart. So I laid my beads out in this little lid, and if I lay them flat, I can see like some stick up higher than others and some aren't. So it kind of helps me see if they're like really thinner ones or fatter ones. It's just a little trick I was using earlier today to help pick out the width of beads I need. A little bird is tricky too.
What kind of bird is it supposed to be?
I don't know, Casey or Kim, do you know?
Supposed to be a crane.
A what?
Crane,
Oh,
Aaron Crane.
okay, good. Now I know what I'm doing. Now I know how it's supposed to be shaped.
It seemed to have a bunch of on the one side, a bunch of lines coming out of it. I couldn't figure out.
Jesse that designed this is from the credit, but he lives over by Alderville.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a nice logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I just wish it was more colorful.
Yeah. This is what the Chiefs picked out of all the,
Black and white.
yeah. Out of all the logos that were entered, and there was a lot of them, this is the one that they picked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My white beads are just chubby.
Mine are too. I think all white beads are like that.
And they're tiny little things. I feel silly saying they're chubby because they're so tiny, but
Yeah. I always find the white is bigger than the black.
yep. Some of the black that I bought years ago are so small, like they're size 10s. but they're tiny, tiny, tiny. So I was doing like loom work with them, and
Yeah.
I almost had to put in 2 black for every one of every other color I was working with.
I wonder if they were Japanese or,
I don't know. It was weird because I bought them all from John Bead, and they all look like they're in the same packaging, and they all look like they were the same bead.
yeah.
And then when I opened them up, it was ridiculous working with them.
Aw.
So I kind of like them now because they're great for like doing these tiny little fill-in areas
Yeah.
that I need. But they weren't good for beadwork at all or loom work at all.
Yeah.
You do loom too, Jill?
I
You do a lot
have
of it? Or?
no, I've done it for my dance outfits for my belts. So I've done 2 belts, and I don't know that I'll do them again.
Because I'm thinking that would be
The one you'd like?
the one I'd like.
Yeah. Yeah, give it a try. It's easy, very geometric. Like
Yeah,
you're limited in some of your designs, but it's not bad to do. If you're gonna do it, I would recommend using a longer needle than these ones. I would use there's shorts and then there's the longer ones. And I always found the longer ones were better for loom work.
I have loom needles at the store, Vanessa.
do you have looms?
Yep. Yep, I have small and large.
Oh, Belvy, hush.
He wants his mama.
He does. So he sits on my lap, if I'm gone from him for a while.
Yeah.
I'll come up and sit on the couch, and he's like 40 pounds now. He's getting big, but he sits on my lap, and I have to hold his rawhide for him in his mouth, or else he'll chew on my hands. And I swear it's because he has me trained rather than.
Yes. Yeah.
And so yeah, so it's almost like holding a baby on my
A
lap
bottle.
with a bottle.
Yep.
Yep, that's my usual nightly ritual with the dog. And then after about 10 minutes, he's had enough and he'll go off and chew the bone on his own. But yeah, for that little bit, he just needs to.
And does he still have lots of rawhide left?
Yeah, those ones that you gave us, he doesn't go to anymore because we bought him some beef ones.
Oh,
And he
yes.
really likes those ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the ones that he'll go to more than the 2
Just
that
don't get them from Mexico.
No.
They got
Yeah.
worms in them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what our vet told us. He said, do not give them anything like from Mexico because they got
Yeah.
worms in them.
Okay. And then we got him pig's ears the other day. I've never used pig's ears for anything.
Yeah.
And I thought they were like rawhide and that they'd last forever.
Nope.
No. They're like
No.
potato chips.
Yep. There it was, gone.
Yep.
You spend a fortune on dogs, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
We get a bark box every month.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, and we had to go, of course, to the super chewer because Otis would destroy the toy within seconds.
Right.
Now we have all these toys that he doesn't even bother with. We have brand new I should bring them up to you. He's
Yeah.
never ever chewed on them. He looks at it and walks away.
Yeah, Belvedere's like that with some of his toys. And then he'll go for a long time, like loving some and forgetting everything else. And then all of a sudden he remembers like the old ones and then he has a heyday with them.
Yeah, Otis is anything that makes a squeak.
Yeah.
And he walks around the house at 6 o'clock in the morning with a squeaky ball in his mouth, squeaking it.
Oh, we took the squeaky one away from him. He had a rubber squeaky one. He broke the squeaky part and then he chewed the rubber right through and there was this like horrible stuff coming out of it, getting all over the furniture and the floor. So I just threw it out.
Yeah, we got him the bark box, I think 2 years ago. And finally we said, just send us this. It's more expensive, but.
Right.
And normally he would take them to Luna next door.
Right.
Chris's, grand dog or whatever you call it, but
yeah.
I should bring them up.
Yeah, we just got him a Kong, so I stuck his food in the Kong, so he takes
Yeah,
slower to eat, and he has to work for it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Otis mastered those in no time. He just chewed it
Yep.
apart and
But as of right now, there's nothing that I can see that's a side effect for the vaccine. So if you would like to get
So I
one,
find going around, like doing the fill in between, like between the lettering and stuff, I find
Yeah.
it really tedious.
yes.
It's slow. It's not my favorite thing to do. I'd rather do big open spaces that you can go
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean about the G.
Yeah, it's just a little bit below.
Yeah. So
I
what did
don't-
you do there?
I just
Went on the other
ended
side?
my one line here and then came up on the other side of the G.
Ah,
Because I
okay.
thought if you tried to do a straight line across, it would come down and
Yeah.
your canoe wouldn't be straight. So I thought rather than work against it, I'll just leave it.
Work with
It's
it,
from a
yeah.
distance, it'll look continuous.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So my office and storage room is done.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So now it's just putting the trim around the windows and the door and
Yeah.
then it'll be all done.
We still have trim to put up. But it's not like it's hard. It's pre-cut. Like it was up, and then I changed the door from like an regular door to a barn door.
Yeah.
So we just have to rehang the trim, and it's been sitting there since November.
It's trying to find time though,
I
Jill.
know, and it's not like we don't have time. It's just like there's so many other things to do.
Yeah.
We just walk by it every day, and I'm like, oh, we should, and then I don't.
I know I've got trim in the bathroom that I have to paint. And then I got looking at the bathroom and we just did it before Christmas, like
Yeah.
back in October. And I was like, I don't like this color. So now I want to repaint the
Oh, wow.
bathroom.
Yeah. And like our stairway, we have one side completely sanded from the mud and painted, like primed and painted, and the
Yeah.
other side we still have to sand. And I'm like, why don't we finish this?
I know.
But then I always think, oh, it's a springtime job or it's at
Yeah.
this time. Like I want to do it when we can open the windows, really,
Yes.
because that drywall dust, I tell you.
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah. And I want to paint the stairs. So I want to do that when the kids aren't home. Not that we go up and down them often. I just want to have the space.
Yeah.
Like without the worry about them.
Yeah. And that would be the day they'd have to go downstairs.
Right. So I think I'll do that one day in the summer. Or a couple days.
Kaya's coming home in a couple weeks. I'm excited.
Nice.
I miss her.
Yeah. Is she
We're
all
right
done?
back. Huh?
Is she all done her course or is she on break?
No. She's on break. Yeah, she's on break. I'll be right back.
Okay. Just looking at my beading, trying to figure out the best way to continually fill in. Sometimes you just need to stop and take a look at it and figure out where to go. How's everyone doing? Still just catching up?
Catching up, yeah.
So next week we'll work on the lanyard. I'll get everyone started on the lanyard. And if you need to do more catch up during class, that's fine too. I don't think we'll go as late next week or as long because we're starting the hour later. And I don't know about you guys, but I know my eyes get tired by a certain time. So maybe we'll just go till like 2 hours or something next week. But we'll get on the lanyard and we'll get finishing up the fill. And then for the last week, I'm hoping that everyone will be caught up and ready to learn how to do the finishing, the edging, and putting it all together. I know that means I'll have to do homework too. You guys won't be the only one. So there I am, almost done around the bird. Did all that.
Nice.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of it was 1 or 2 beads, like just filling in the little spaces and really picking through my beads and finding the right size weight in there.
That is perfect.
I wouldn't say perfect.
Well, it
Looks perfect to us.
It's like 20 some years of beading and I'm still learning. So don't expect. I might have some of my early beadwork beside me. You guys want to have a look? Yeah, maybe. Here's some moccasin I did. It's like really lumpy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
a little.
How long did that take though?
I don't know. I never, like, it would be years. I'd be working on stuff for years, right? Like, just do it when I can.
Wow.
So,
I was watching that breakfast television one year,
Yeah.
one time a while back, and there was a beader there, a native guy, and he had beaded a whole shirt
oh my goodness.
out of beads, and he said
Yeah.
it weighed a ton. Like
Yeah.
you
I
wouldn't be
have a
able-
whole. It would, eh? It'd be really heavy.
Yeah.
Like, my leggings are really heavy because they're fully beaded. So half the time I don't even wear them because my skirts are long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are falling apart. And my little Indian patch job. So that's some of the. And then I have this pair, and I don't ever do white on your moccasins. I don't know what I was thinking. So that's all mud now. Yep. So that's
Beautiful.
another pair that I had done. Now they're just muddy. Yeah.
Is that bead on leather, Jill?
No, it's all, I did the moccasins on canvas and then put some, my mom does my sewing. So she
Okay.
put fabric liner. You can feel the, like the knot, there's a knot right there. You can feel them. But then just a leather sole. So there's bias tape here, and then I sewed the leather to the bias tape. Yeah.
They're very pretty.
Yeah. I'm not handy on a machine. I'd rather do hand sewing. So I can do all the beadwork, but when it comes to like finishing off for stuff like that, I'm always like, Mom, I need your help. I'm getting better. Like I'm trying to do more machine, but I'm not confident in my seamstressness. I'm making I don't know if everyone was on, but I'm making curtains. I ordered material for my dining room and my kitchen. So this weekend I'm going to try to make some curtains. Just little pocket curtains that aren't too detailed, like just straight lines really. But I'm hoping they turn out. I was all excited because I haven't found any fabric I liked for the longest time. And then Fabricland was having a sale, and what was normally $40 a meter, I found for $6.
Wow.
So I got 6 meters for less than the cost of 1 meter regularly.
Wow.
Yeah. And I just ordered it yesterday, and they're like, we'll send you an email when it's ready to be shipped. And I never got that email, and then Pure Later came today. So there it is, ready to go. I'm like, woo. And even with shipping, it wasn't that much. Like it was, I think it was $14 for shipping,
Good.
which that's decent. So of course my husband doesn't like the design. He's like, turns his nose up at it. But he didn't trust any, like when we were building, he didn't trust me in terms of like any of the colors I had picked or like the kitchen cabinet color. Like he's like, I don't know. And then when it was all put together, he's like, it actually works. And I'm like, well, yeah. He had no faith in me. So I'm hoping it'll be the same when the curtains go up. He'll be like, yeah, they do work. That does work.
I get my vaccine on the 3rd of March.
Oh, wow.
Good. Is that
My first shot. The 3rd of
are all
March.
the seniors in Curve getting them, or like how's that?
I think everyone is,
Oh, okay.
but
We haven't-
they're probably doing they're just calling. I just got my call today for
Okay.
appointment, and then so they'll probably do the elders first, and then they'll do the
Right.
next stage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they're just doing 2 days anyway, the 3rd and the 6th of March. So
Okay. We haven't heard about here.
because Rama got theirs last week, eh?
Okay.
And Georgina had theirs sometime late January sometime.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if it was just the seniors or who on Georgina.
It'll be good to get them.
It'll be good to get them.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid that people will they'll get a false security and not be careful again. Like, you're still a carrier, right? When
Right.
it just helps you not get as sick.
Right.
Because you could still pass it on if you,
Yeah. I'm hopeful that people will still be like, oh, I have a cold, I'm going to wear a mask, regardless of,
Yeah.
whether corona is still an issue at the time. I'm
yes.
hopeful that people, like, coming out of this, people will be more considerate about
Yeah.
passing on things.
Yes. I think the mask is going to be the thing for a while,
Yeah.
wearing your mask. I just praise my students. My goodness sakes, they're doing it. They're doing it. Put their mask on, they wash their hands. I'm amazed at all the grannies with their grandkids doing their online schooling. With their techie stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, when we had the kids home for that first couple weeks after Christmas, I like struggled with the techie stuff, and so kudos to anyone who figures it out. That's awesome. So there, I'm done a little bit more. So I was trying to get the lines to come up and give it some shape. I don't know if you can see some shape to the canoe. Because I think how you run your lines can really define the flow of a piece. So sometimes you'll see beadwork and you just wonder, like, why'd they run their lines that way? That seems a bit odd. And then other times it just works for the piece. So I was trying to make my interior lines come up this way. So I think I got it. I think you can see that there.
So you're going up and down and not around.
Yeah, I'm going up and down for the inside. I thought if I did a round, it would just kind of look silly after a while. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, and certainly you don't have to. You can go around if you want.
Well, I didn't know how you were going to fill it in. I was
Yeah.
gonna, and then I was wondering how you're going to do the black too. But you're
Yeah.
going to put the banding on first, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the banding right on the outside, and then go around for the black. You could also, like, for the canoe, you could just follow the lines this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong, and certainly you'll lose it when you're in the lettering. It won't flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for this kind of stuff, it's just a matter of personal choice. Oh, and I'm just filling it in like I'm doing like 2 needle beading, but I'm just using the one needle. It's just my preference. The way I taught you is great. It's a great method, but it's not my favorite way to do it. So I'm just continuing on the way that I like to do. So I'm putting on this row of beads to fill in the space. And I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to tack down through, like, over the thread rather than through the beads. There, that row's all tacked down. So now I'm into the lettering. And it'll just be a whole bunch of like 1 or 2 beads at a time. And then if you're doing it and you like I'm looking at it a bit closely and I'm like, there's a little hole here. So I'll probably come back and fill that in later. And then do that, see where if there's any little spots where you just can fit 1 bead, maybe 2 beads. But right here, I have a little hole that'll come back and fill in later.
Oh, what did I do with it? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I guess I better turn on my camera. So my lanyard's done.
Oh, you already did it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
So I already finished it. I was bored.
I was telling them last week, I don't know that you were on the call yet, that you were the one that taught me how to do the lanyards.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
I love them. The rope lanyards. I would never do a
Yeah.
peyote stitch one, but
No. I find like
Tried
I
it.
have peyote stitch ones, but they fell apart.
mm,
Whereas the rope ones are sturdy.
Yeah.
And I
I've
was
tried
saying,
it,
yeah,
and it just takes too long.
yeah. And like 1 bead at a time.
Yeah.
I
And
was
I could do a
saying,
rope lanyard in a matter of hours.
oh, it takes me a lot longer than that. I'm
Oh, does
super
it? I
slow.
guess I'm just so, I've been doing them for so long that I just
Yeah.
whip it off, eh?
I was saying how I'm usually a visual learner, but you told me like you verbally explained
Yeah.
how to do it,
Yeah.
and they're so easy that it made sense. Like I didn't have to see it.
Yeah.
Just like, yep.
Yep.
Easy peasy.
I love Sheldon
Sheldon.
on The Big Bang Theory.
Oh yeah, we watch that all the time. It's pretty much all that's on TV.
Yeah, I love him.
We don't even care if we've seen the episode like 5 times already this
Yeah.
year. It's just on.
I was mad when they took it off.
Yeah. Bing only just got into it like last April.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, my daughter-in-law used to watch it and she would tell me about it and I'd be like, oh my God, this sounds so stupid.
Right.
And then I got into it. I was like, oh, I really like this. It's like Schitt's Creek, right? Ashley got me into that.
Oh my gosh, I love that show.
And I was like, oh, Ashley. She's like, Mom, just go through a couple episodes. I guarantee you'll like it. And I was like, this is stupid. And then I
Yep.
got into it and I'm like,
Yep. That's what I had. It took me probably 2 months to watch the first 3 episodes
yeah.
because I'm like, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
And then once I got past that, I'm like, oh my God. And I like binge watch them. I love that
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. I can't find another sweatshirt like Chris has got me and I've washed it so much that the lettering's coming off.
Oh no. Yeah, I want one like that too.
But I can't find that material. They
Yeah.
Ashley got me one at Christmas and it's just like normal t-shirt material. It's not that nice soft.
Yeah. I bought one off Amazon and I don't even know how to explain what the material is. It's horrible.
Yeah, I think this is, yeah, Ashley got mine from Amazon too. It's not even like sweatshirt material.
No.
I don't even know
Like
what
some
it is.
weird plasticky, like
Yeah, Kaya loved it, so she took it.
Yeah. Mine, I do have a rose, like a hoodie rose apothecary one, but it's, I ordered it too big because you never know with sizing, right?
Yeah.
And I guessed, and it's way too big, so I never wear it.
Give it to Chris, she'll shrink it for you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wear mine all the time and I've wore it so much and washed it so much that
Yeah.
it's just. And I cannot find another one. So if you find another one, let me know.
Yeah. Oh, I think Christina
would-
wants another one too. Is it Rose Apothecary or is it
Yeah, it's rose. Yeah.
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 I want an Ew David one.
Yeah, I like those too. I'm afraid to order from Amazon because you never know with that material.
Right. I ordered a dog collar for Belvedere on Amazon back in January.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to come in on the 15th. And then they're like, we're sorry, your shipment's late. If it doesn't come by the 24th, you can apply for a refund. So I still don't have it. So I got my refund,
Yeah.
which I like about them like that way, but
Yeah.
I don't like that it takes so long. And then the last thing I ordered from them, they delivered to Ricky's. 95 as well. They got the right house number, but the wrong street. And thankfully, like it was somebody that knew me and was like, Jill, your package is here.
Did I tell you that the Amazon guy took money out of our mailbox?
Yes.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't know Shane was building in the back line.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
In the like back.
Yeah. Well, where he should be, yes.
Yeah.
So I tell him. He's like, are you going to sneak back and see me? Yes. Yes, I'm going to come through the woods to see you, Shane.
I just switched out my beads for some new. I think I picked out all the thin ones. So
Good ones, yeah. That's what takes a long time too, is going through the beads. Veronica's not on.
she was briefly.
Was she?
Yep.
I think they've got that big missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls event.
Oh,
on
they do. They
Reddit
do.
tonight.
Yes, because what's her name? Her sister Val sent me a link a few minutes ago or earlier. They do.
So
I
just
told her
got
we
my-
brought shares, Sean. She said, I was sorry she wasn't at the meeting. And I said, that's okay. We brought shares at a company. Because she had put that on the agenda, being a smart ass.
So I got between the M and I'm almost like I have to one side of the eye. Just coming along.
Oh, yeah. See, it does straighten it all out.
Yeah. I still don't like the M, like you lose the point a little bit,
Yeah.
but it did help straighten out the lines. The most finicky one I had worked on before this was the senator's medallion with the face of the senators,
Oh,
the senator face.
yeah.
Oh my God, that was quite the detail. Trying to find like the right size black for some of those little, like his
Yeah.
eyebrows and stuff.
Hmm.
Whew. I've seen like one woman who did, I showed the Prince medallion. I've seen her do like eyebrows with like, she'll just put like a piece of wool
Oh, okay.
across or something just to have
Yeah.
the look of it, which I thought was pretty smart. Or I guess you could do like multimedia and do quills too.
That would be good.
So there, I'm done. The other side of the eye. The only thing it didn't help do, and I don't think there's enough room to do a bead in between, is like the little dot for the eye.
Okay.
But I think from a distance, you would
Yeah.
pick up on the fact that it's an eye. Yeah. I mean, if I searched through for like a really, really tiny white, but I think it would just be too forced. So I'm not going to worry about it. But yeah, it does help straighten it out a little bit, Kim.
Sorry, guys. Thought it was.
Everyone's so quiet tonight. I think my needle's getting dull because I'm starting to get a little indent in my finger from poking through the other side. And usually that means my needle's not going through as easily as it should. It's probably a little dull. My finger's starting to hurt. Braden comes home from school yesterday with a little tiny cut on his finger from shop class, and he's like, kiss it better. He says my kisses are magic on his when he has little owies like that. So I think I'll go up and get him to
Kiss it better.
kiss it better. Do my little owie. So funny. 17-year-old boy getting his stepmom to kiss his owie.
You still got the same girlfriend?
Yeah, they just had their 1-year anniversary.
Wow.
She's a nice girl. She's a bit clingy. I don't know how she'll do next year when he goes off to college. Because she's always like, oh, I miss you. I want to spend time with you. Whatever. I mean, teenage girl stuff, right?
Yeah.
But they'll figure that out. So I was thinking I will give the medallion that I finished to Gima Carr when I'm
She
done
has
with it.
one.
Does she? She has a Mississauga one?
Yeah, Reg got them all made one.
Well, then I'll have to figure something else to do.
Sean's sitting there smiling. Yeah, she has one.
Oh, okay. Well, that was nice then.
Yeah.
I'll have
Reg
them.
had them all made one.
Yeah.
You know, the people that are putting together, you know, starting a government and from the ground up, not mention any names, Casey, oh, there's her niece, Casey and Sean and Kim, he just left out of the, I always point that out to him.
Yeah. Well, you guys will have your own when you're done
Yeah.
that you worked hard on. Or is yours, are you doing Ashley's or is you doing your own, Kim?
I'm doing my own. She has to do her own.
Yeah.
There she is. Oh, there's a little one with her.
Hi, Kim. Say hi, Kim.
Hi, guys.
Hi. Hi.
You came back.
Yeah. Maybe I have a bird tongue.
Ha, oh, you do? What were you eating?
I have gum. I have gum.
What were you eating, Allie?
Gum.
Oh, gum.
I got some gum.
You got some gum too?
Okay, say bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
They're sweet.
Yes. My.
Oh, I need to stand up and stretch for just a minute.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's just about 8 o'clock there, Jill. If you want to start winding down,
It's
I
up
can
to
leave
everybody.
this on
Like,
too. It
I'm
does not matter to me. It's completely up
Yeah.
to you folks.
I'm good to keep going till 8:30. I just I pulled something in my hip, so I just can't sit still very long. I'm good. It's up to everybody else. I'm good to go to 8:30, but if you guys want to stop early, I'm good for that too. I'll really take direction from you guys.
8:30 is pretty long for me.
Okay,
8 o'clock is fine.
that's fair.
Like we've been here since 6, right?
Yeah.
So next week, if we're starting late, how long will be sitting here till 9?
Yeah, I think just till 9. Like I know I can't go till 9:30. My eyes won't let me be that
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple hours. How's everyone doing? So here's what I've gotten done so far in terms of the fill. So I'm almost done my second S. As you can see, I have a lot of catch up to do because I restarted it. So I have to do the nation and the pipe and my other feathers. But if you guys can do homework this week, please get your feathers done, get your canoe done, and maybe if you're feeling ambitious, put the rhinestones around the edge. And I would do it on the outside edge, not the inside edge. I didn't leave myself much space, but yeah, if you could do it around the outside.
So we're putting, hi Jill, it's Teresa.
Hi Teresa.
So we're putting our rhinestones on the outside and then filling it in with black.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay, because I have my canoe and all and my feathers done and whatnot.
Yep.
So,
Good for you.
okay.
Do you want to show it? Are you feeling?
Oh, I'm not that brave yet.
Okay, no worries.
How can you do that, Teresa?
I'd have to learn how to do this.
Yeah. I mean, the other option too is to do the black, like you can do the banding after. It's up to you whether you want to do it before or after.
Because I already have a half a lap of black.
Sorry, you have half a what?
Half the circle done in black.
Oh, okay. Then just keep going. It'll put the banding on when you're done.
Oh, I'll be able to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, you should be able to. Yeah, you should be able to. There's no reason why not.
Okay, well, I'll finish my circle and then add my rhinestones.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. I like I said earlier, sometimes I put the banding on first, sometimes I put it on after. There's no like right or wrong. Sometimes I find it just helps me keep the circle defined, and other times it just gets in the way. So really it's a matter of preference.
Oh, well, maybe I'll put it on last because I tend to get caught already.
Right.
So,
yeah, in that case. And if that's true for anyone else, like do it at the end.
Okay. I'll do it at the end then.
Okay. Yeah, and next week we'll get started on the lanyard.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So
I'll
send you an email, Jill.
Okay.
For that new
for the new medallion to print out. Yeah. Okay.
You,
Um,
Joe.
Hey.
See,
I'm
you
gonna
can't
move
even
it.
read you can't even read it.
Give me a second. I'm gonna move my computer so I can see everybody. Sorry. There we
Bye.
go.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Okay,
Does
bye-bye.
anyone have questions before we sign off?
Nope, I'm gonna be all caught up.
Can I drop mine off at your house and you'll do it?
No,
Oh,
no.
it was worth a
Not
try.
It is worth a try. Yep.
Okay,
Well, if it's in the mailbox, it's not my fault.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Sean.
Right.
All right, take
Thanks,
care,
bye.
everyone. Have a great
Bye.
weekend. We'll see you next
See you
week.
next week.
Bye.